All right, buckle up, because this isn't just a neighbor dispute. This is lawn care meets courtroom chaos. We've got a $75,000 lawsuit, a restraining order, and two men who absolutely should not live next to each other. Question for you early on. When neighbors clash, do you think courts usually side with personal responsibility, or you should have been more careful?
I'm only going to say it one more time. If I have to say it again, both of you will be in jail.
This guy hates me. He hates my lifestyle. He hates that I come with a party every time, and I understand.
He was in his yard. He was impaired, and he saw me working, knew the danger. I can't be responsible for him coming into,
We're here for case number 3928, Juan Miguel Ramos versus Brendan. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Brendan or Brandon?
Brandon.
Brandon O'Neill. Is it Ramos or Ramos?
Ramos.
Ramos. Mr. Ramos, sir, you're suing the defendant here for $75,000 in damages. Am I getting that correct? What's this? Negligence resulting in personal injury and emotional distress.
Sir, I should
Hold on. Give me 1 second. And Mr. O'Neill, sir, it shows that you filed a countersuit requesting a restraining order.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Sir, what happened to your head, if I may ask?
You see this? I mean, you're a fellow bald man. You see what I got to go outside with?
Okay. Is that in relation to this case? Oh, God.
I wouldn't be here otherwise.
Why don't you have that, covered up or bandaged?
Honestly, I did have it, but someone recommended me for it to air out and dry out properly. So obviously I'm here. I took out the bandage to let you see what's really going on. I'm not here for any games.
And I'm going to assume that you're saying that Mr. O'Neill is responsible for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
This guy right here.
All right. Tell me what happened.
Okay, Your Honor. First of all, I'm going to start off. This guy hates me. He hates my lifestyle. He hates that I come with a party every time, and I understand it's late hours.
Why does he hate you?
Because why else would someone do this? This is a deliberate thing.
Okay, how did that happen?
Exactly. So I'm on my property. He's on his property.
Okay, so you guys are neighbors?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Continue.
And sometimes I like to have my green thumb, and I'll cut my stuff myself on my property line. He has his line. I always respect his line. I never cross over. And one day I'm, trimming this bush that I have that's close to where he was, and he didn't give me any sign. I have my AirPods on, and he didn't tell me, hey, I'm using the weed whacker, and I'm going to be close to where you're at. And for some reason, I don't know what I was doing. I dropped something, and as I dropped it, I come down. He's deliberately in my area, just going in. And
okay.
look what I got.
I want to make sure I understand this correctly. You're saying that because you guys live next door to each other, I'm assuming, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you're on your property and you're doing lawn work on your property.
Yeah. But I was trimming. I wasn't doing he has a weed. I don't have that.
But you were doing lawn work on your property.
Yes.
And you were doing lawn work as well. And his lawn work caused your injury. Is that where I'm at?
Yes. And emotional damage too. Because now I got to walk outside with this. I don't feel as confident as I used to.
How long ago did this occur?
This happened about two weeks ago around there.
2 weeks ago? Okay. All right. I don't know who told you to. I mean, I get the logic behind airing it out, so I get that. But
I just wanted you to see.
And I'm not a medical professional, but sir, I would recommend you cover that up next time because you don't want infections or anything of that nature. Yeah. I could see clearly that that you were definitely injured.
Look at this.
Okay.
Look at this.
All right. So my question is, why do you say this guy hates you? You saying that this is deliberate?
Yeah, it's definitely deliberate. I mean, look, why? How? It's a tough time explaining this story.
Okay, here's my question.
Stop looking at me like you don't know what happened.
Okay,
you know what happened.
I do know what happened. There will be no yelling at each other. The only person
I'm
that
sorry,
you
Your
will
Honor, I'm
address
trying to be
is
as
myself.
cordial as possible. Look at me,
All right,
man.
sir. Your property, is this separated by a fence or a hedge line? What separates your property?
A hedge line. We don't have a fence. We have a hedge line.
Okay.
We both agreed to this.
All
Like
right.
he knows my property line. I know his. I would never cross over. Maybe my dog, you know, took a dump on his lawn and I forgot to pick it up. But you know, I was in a rush.
Okay.
Forgot you were watching. You looked
I
right
forgot,
at
man.
it.
It's
You
a dog.
ignored it.
All right.
Gentlemen, please. I'm only going to say it one more time. If I have to say it again, both of you will be in jail.
Apologies, Your Honor.
Okay.
Apology.
Now, Mr. O'Neill, sir, you've heard what Mr. Ramos said about his injury. Were you doing lawn work that caused this?
Your Honor, I was taking care of my lawn. I take great pride in my property and I maintain my lawn meticulously.
Okay.
Mr. Ramos does not. And he allows his hedges to overgrow and come onto my
This is a
side of the
hedge
property.
line that separates your property.
Yes, I
Okay.
maintain my side impeccably, and he lets his grow wild. So, periodically, I will go out and I will, as is my right, when his hedges impede into my property, I trim them back, which is what I was doing. And while I was using my weed whacker, he was using weed, if you know what I am saying.
Okay.
And so I'm using my weed whacker, and he comes over out of his mind and basically walks into it. And I'm not even sure he did that because I didn't see it happen. I was reaching around trying to get to a hard to reach spot. And I think maybe some debris flew off and maybe hit him.
Maybe.
But this was completely his fault. He saw me doing the work and he walks into it.
Wait a minute.
Maybe.
So, legally speaking, this is where things get serious. The plaintiff is claiming negligence, which means he's saying you had a duty to act safely, you didn't, and I got hurt because of it. That's a high bar, especially between neighbors. But look at that injury. Be honest. Accident or recklessness?
When this incident occurred and you got struck, okay, where were you standing?
So you see the hate that he's coming with, right?
I don't see the
Smoking,
hate.
Like, what does me smoking weed have to do with anything? It's my property.
I see.
You know
where
what
you're
I'm saying? So you see what he's trying to get at me with?
I understand, but you
It's
didn't
my
answer my
property.
question.
I do what I want.
Where were you standing when you were struck?
All right. So I was on the corner of my property line, corner lot where, you know, this close to the mailbox, close to the street. Because, look, I got a life. I don't know what you're doing in your minivan. I'm driving a Porsche. You jealous of my lifestyle, and I get it. All right.
Oh God,
my
Mr.
girls are hot.
Ramos,
Your
Mr.
wife
Ramos,
is.
Mr.
She need to go to the gym.
Sir, please. I didn't ask you about your
It's
Porsche.
okay, my bad.
I didn't ask you about your mailbox.
Look what I gotta live with.
Sir.
He's lucky. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep myself together for you,
Sir,
so you can
I'm
understand.
trying to keep myself together so I don't throw you in jail.
right,
You're not answering my question. Where were you standing when you were hit?
Okay, I was close to the corner where the street is, where my mailbox is.
So were you standing on your property?
Yes.
Okay, and where were
was
you
on my
standing
side.
when this incident occurred?
I was on my property.
Okay, so now the question is about this hedge. Who owns the hedge?
Mr. Ramos does.
So it's your hedge.
Yes.
And your hedge is the dividing factor between your property and your property.
Yes, Your Honor.
And
He didn't
you're
want to pay for
saying
it.
that he allowed his hedge to be overgrown and you were cutting the hedges.
I was doing him a favor, Your Honor, yes.
Well, what do you mean you were doing him a favor?
Yeah.
What
Well, I
does
was
that mean?
maintaining the hedge. I
Does
was
it look like
doing
a favor?
his yard work for
Does
him.
this look like a favor to you?
That's
Mr.
your
Ramos,
fault.
Mr.
You
Ramos,
walked into
Come
it.
on, man.
He's talking about a favor though,
Sir. All right, so you were trimming the hedges, doing him a favor because they were overgrown. Let me ask this question. Do you guys have an HOA?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
Okay, is there rules for this HOA as far as that particular hedge goes?
Of course, all HOAs they're a pain. You
Okay,
know.
so they've addressed you about this particular hedge?
yes, they have.
And what I'm just curious, what did they say?
Well, They said that I need to keep it trimmed and I need to keep it in an orderly fashion.
Okay.
I mean, I will admit sometimes I'm not on top of it because I'm not a professional gardener. You know, I don't do this for a living.
This is
but
true.
I'm trying to, you know, save where I can, and I like the
Have
therapy of
you
it. I put on
considered
music. I smoke.
maybe I understand, but have you considered maybe hiring someone to trim your hedges?
Yeah, sometimes when I'm out of town and I'm traveling, and yeah, I'll call up my guy and he'll come do it. But sometimes in between, I like to do it myself. You know, I put on my music. You know,
And
I do
on this
whatever I want
particular
my
day,
property.
you were doing some type of yard work. You said that
was
you
like
were trimming a bush or a lawn or something like that.
Yeah, it was like a small maintenance because, you know, this guy's always complaining about every little thing I do. It's the music, the girls that are coming over. Like, he just hates my whole lifestyle. And
Okay,
I get
here's
it.
my question now. When you were trimming the hedges, did you see him
Yeah. See me?
standing on the property, on his property?
I saw him out in his yard. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now, was he within the vicinity of this particular hedge line while you were trimming?
He was kind of moving around. I mean, he might have come over nearby.
Okay, is it a possibility that the proximity of where he was standing in relation to where you were working on the hedge was kind of close?
It's possible. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, because my concern here is that he has an injury that he says occurred from your actions.
Your Honor, I understand what you're saying, but look at this from my point of view. I was on my property using a garden tool, which is completely normal and regular.
Okay.
He was in his yard. He was impaired.
Okay.
And he saw me working, knew the danger. I can't be responsible for him coming into,
coming within close proximity of you working to
exactly.
do
common
work
sense.
where
it's just common
where
sense.
you're doing him a favor.
Exactly, Your Honor.
Okay.
Exactly.
Here's the problem now. Here's the problem. When you say you're doing him a favor, what do you mean by that?
Well, the HOA has asked him to trim back those hedges. I have asked him to trim back those
but
hedges.
But the HOA didn't ask you to trim his hedges.
No, that's me doing him the favor. Oh.
Okay. Now, the hedges, did you do the entire hedge? Or were you working for that goal to do the entire hedge?
Yes, Your Honor, absolutely.
Even the part that faces his property?
Yeah, I was just kind of reaching over and
Just reaching
just
over?
doing a little,
Okay, all right.
helping him out.
Okay, I get that. See, here's the problem.
Yes,
And I understand what you're saying. If I'm on my property line and he gets, that's not my fault. I was standing on my property. If you are, I don't know, let's say you are watering your lawn.
Yes.
And you have a sprinkler system that's there to water your lawn. And let's say that you have the pressure up a little bit too high, and hypothetical, of course, there's enough pressure to go from that sprinkler onto his property, and it hits him in the face and it causes damage. Would that be your fault, even though the sprinkler's on your property and he was standing on his property? Do you think that would be your fault?
And there it is, the judge warning shot. When a judge says this, it's not drama, it's damage control. Courts don't care who started it if both parties start spiraling. Quick poll, who's hurting their own case more right now? The injured neighbor or the guy trimming hedges like it's a contact sport?
Well, Your Honor, if he can see the water coming into his yard and chooses to walk into it, is that my fault?
But do you not have a responsibility to ensure the safety of things that's coming from your property that has a possibility of going to other properties? Don't you have a responsibility to that, sir?
I thought I had a right to trim my own bushes.
I mean, if you're playing in your backyard with your kids on your property and you're playing, say, baseball.
Yes.
And you throw the ball and your kid hits the ball and it goes flying into your neighbor's property and it breaks their window, are you responsible for that?
In that case, yes, Your Honor, I would be responsible for that window and I would replace that.
Okay.
But I think this is very different.
It's different? How is it different?
Because you walked into...
Mr. Ramos, sir, please. Sir, here's the issue at hand. I understand that you wanted to trim this hedge line because the cosmetics of it. It looks nice.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
he's not doing his job to make it look nice.
Yes.
But the problem is, once you take that responsibility to do that, you also have a responsibility to make sure that you're working in a safe working environment within the proximity of where you're working. The problem is, with that, is I may hit somebody who's standing close by with flying debris or maybe even machinery. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but if you go into like an apartment complex or say a business park and the guys are on their lawn machines and they're driving to cut the lawn, if you walk within proximity of that, even if it's like maybe 10 feet away, they stop doing what they're doing. If you go to the park and they're doing lawn work with their weed whackers, if you come within close proximity, they stop doing what you're doing until they feel that you passed, and then they go back to work.
Exactly.
For safety. That didn't happen here.
Nope.
You were trimming, by your own admission, you were trimming, and some of your trimming was on his side because you wanted to make it look nice. You were reaching.
Yes.
And you accidentally hit him.
I don't know about accidental, Your Honor.
Absolutely
this is-
accidentally.
Abs-
If I even
absolutely.
did.
Mr. Ramos, what is wrong with you, man?
How could you believe this guy, man?
You know, I could dismiss this case right
All
now.
right, I'm sorry.
We can do that.
I don't want
And
that.
then
guy.
I'll be happy and
No.
I don't have to hear you anymore.
Exactly.
How about that?
Maybe I'm talking too much.
You talk way too much. So, we agree that what you did was an error. It was a mistake. It was not intentional. Unfortunately, he suffered as a result. Okay? Unfortunately,
Your Honor, may I say something briefly?
Yes.
I feel like you're about to rule, and I just want to say, if you
I
can
am
see the
about to
way
rule.
he is looking at me, this is why I have asked for a restraining order. Can you see the hostility?
I'm going to
that's
get to
coming
that.
towards
I'm
me?
going to
Okay.
get to that in a
Okay.
second. So, this is what we're going to do. The $75,000 that he's requesting for, let's see here, personal injury, emotional distress.
Emotional distress. I'm suffering, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I don't mean to, be bursting out so many words and maybe cutting you off.
I'm going to grant him that. Okay?
Thank
Now,
you.
Mr.
Thank
Ramos,
you.
you listen to me. If this man says you caused him any problems after today in relation to this, then me and you're going to have a problem and you're going to be standing in this courtroom again. And I'm making myself clear.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court is adjourned.
I'm happy with the verdict. Obviously, I feel like I should have been granted more money. This guy's gonna. I'm suffering so much, but you know what? The $75,000, I'm gonna take that, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe some skin grafts could fix this. And you know what? I'm gonna just keep my confidence, because I'll make this look good.
I'm incredibly disappointed in this decision. It's obviously unfair. The judge could see what I'm living next to and what a nightmare it is, and I can't believe that he would give that man $75,000. You know what this means? This means my kid can't go to college. That's what this means. This is why I vote libertarian.